Welcome everyone. Really glad you guys are here with us today. I'm Urida. I'm the product marketing manager at vFairs, and today I'm joined by Salman, who will be running the live demos throughout this session. Say hi, Salman.
Hello everyone, this is Salman. I'm Director of Product Management at vFairs. I'm so excited to walk you through two amazing features, Event Assistant and the MCP server.
Perfect. Quick note on how this is going to run. We are not going to go through slides today. This is a live backend walkthrough, and you'll see the actual product with actual data and actual questions being asked and answered in real time. So if something sparks a question during the webinar, just drop it in the chat, and I will leave the last 8 to 10 minutes to cater to all of your questions. So we'll have time to discuss that as well. Um, all right, let's get into it. So every event, no matter the size, it generates two categories of questions. The first kind comes from attendees. Attendees are usually worried about on the day of the event or even before, like where is my session going to be? Is lunch included in the event? Or where do I go and pick up my badge? Hundreds of these questions and sometimes thousands, they're landing on your team to answer during the event. And that's the time primarily when you have the least bandwidth to answer them. This is the first kind from the attendees. The second kind of question, they come from the organizer side. And organizers are usually worried about how's the check-in going, which sessions are performing better, which sessions are filling up, and how does like today compare to yesterday. These are the questions that the organizers are constantly asking their team. They're trying to pull reports for it. And honestly, sometimes they just try not to ask these questions because they don't have the time to go and find the answer. So both of these kind of questions are being handled manually right now. And this session is about handing both of these tasks to AI and doing it in a way that's actually practical and very easy to set up. So I'm just going to define the structure of what we're going to go through today. The first thing is we're going to go through the attendee experience, what the attendees go through before the event, during the event, and after. And then we'll move on to the organizer side of things, how organizers can set up these features and how can they get the answers that they're looking for with respect to their events. So I'm going to hand it over to Salman now. And Salman, let's take them through the features.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Urida, in helping me explain the AI Event Assistant and the MCP server a little bit. Let me just quickly share my screen, and then we can see how it actually works. All right, so just imagine an attendee right after registration. If you let them log in to the event, maybe a couple of weeks before, so they'll have a lot of questions, right? So 2 weeks before the events, they will have questions about if my relevant participants will be attending the event, or my relevant sessions are happening, or the speaker that I'm really interested to listen to, when exactly the speaker is hosting the session. So what they can do, they can log in to the mobile application. Here you can see on screen. I'll in a bit show you the how it looks like in the web as well. Let me share my screen once again. I think stay with me for a minute. Start broadcasting. So when attendees log in, so they see the mobile application, right? And then in the mobile application, obviously you'd have AI recommendations that can recommend you sessions, that can recommend you webinars, and your quick links. Obviously, these links and other information you have based on your information will populate. Now, for the questions, instead that they reach out to the organizer, what they can do, they can just click on Ask AI or Event Assistant and start chatting with it, right? So I can ask where are the, or who are the, for example, who are the top. All right, so who are the top 3 people I should meet and why, right? Now, it already knows about my information, my interest, my intent to attend the event, and also can fetch information about other participants, right? It'll suggest me attendees and will also tell me that why, the AI thinks these attendees are relevant to me. You can see, like it's recommending me three attendees, Mary, Wendy, and then Scott. What I can also do if, for example, I want to know and register for popular sessions before the event, I can also ask, can you suggest me, can you suggest some popular sessions, right? All right, so I can sessions and send. So it'll suggest me popular sessions. Now it fetches popular sessions based on my profile information. It already knows about, if, whether other attendees are, like registering for this session or not to attend. So based on that, or even if the session is live, so it can also see live registrations and will show you the relevant and popular sessions based on that. Now let's jump to the web interface here. So here what we have the same AI assistant in our web application, right? Obviously they can explore the rest of the tabs here, the rest of the information. But what I can do here, I can chat with the AI assistant, right? And maybe we were talking about before the event or a couple of weeks before the event, how would they interact with the AI assistant, right? So maybe right before the event, a day before the event, they can ask about, if there is a free parking available. So I can say, is there free parking available, right? So instead of reaching out, calling, organizer or reaching out over email to ask this question, what I can do, I can simply ask AI, right? So AI will respond back with the answer. So it says, yes, we do have a parking available. It's in zone C. We also have parkings available, in different areas if you want to pay. So it's going to be, and it's also mentioning the time of the parking.
I'd also like to know if there would be Wi-Fi at the event, or do I need to up my data packages before going?
Sure. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a very relevant and question that every attendee thinks, and in fact, I do the same, right? So right after approaching the venue, instead of using my mobile data, I ask, search for organizer and ask, do you have a Wi-Fi, and can I get the Wi-Fi password? Or maybe squint to all of the standees and banners if anywhere I can see free Wi-Fi or password mentioned. Or the other way, a quick way, even before leaving your home, what you can do, you can ask it, is there, or what's the Wi-Fi password simply? What is the Wi-Fi password? The AI will respond to it, and you can, straight away connect to the
Wow,
Wi-Fi, and you don't have to pay for the data anymore.
that's super helpful for me, as I'm always scrambling for, free internet throughout the event. So that's great.
Exactly. Exactly. That can help you, obviously, stay connected, and keep checking your sessions, your meetings, and everything that's, the organizer has to offer. One more interesting thing that you can do, obviously, there'll be, can be a lot of sessions, and in bigger events, sessions can happen in different rooms and different locations as well. So one is happening as hall one is happening as hall two. And then after adding sessions to my schedule, I can forget, right? So what I can do, I can ask AI, where is my next session happening? It already knows about my agenda, my meetings, my sessions. It can reply back by telling me the exact location. In this case, I'm just like running a simple prompt here. Where is the cybersecurity essential session happening? So it'll give me the location, right? So it's happening inside the Creative Studio Theater, and then it's telling me about the floor and the time of the session as well.
Or can I ask, where can I go pick up my badge? because that's always hard to find. Second lines are so long, I can't even figure out where the badges are placed. So
Exactly. I mean, even in some events, there are multiple queues, so you can, let AI answer about those as well. That if you are, for example, you haven't registered before the event, so you need to go to queue 4 or 5, something like that, or counter, name of the counter, or if you just need to collect your badge, so here's where you can do it, and you can hand this over to AI as well. So I'm quickly asking, where can I pick up my batch, right? So simple question, and then it can suggest you, right, when you reach at the venue, so you can go to the registration desk and ask them for the pass. And if there is any specific timing, between that, they should go and pick up their badge. You can mention that as well, so they, will know it from here.
yeah, some events are multi-day events as well, and most people are not able to join all days of the event. So maybe can I ask this assistant whether, what if I just join for one day? What will I miss if I don't go on XYZ day?
Exactly. A lot of times, I mean, obviously, a 3-day event, only if you're traveling, from somewhere else, and then you're just traveling to attend that event, you attend all 3 days. But if it's, if the event is happening in where you normally live, so you would probably you would miss one day, right? So, or two in this case. And you can find out, you can, obviously the AI already know about your sessions and meetings that are happening, and then you can prompt it to what will I miss if I, skip 19th of August, right? Something like this. Or even you can ask this question on 20th of August as well. Like, for example, you were not able to attend the event on the 19th, and then you can ask the question, what did I miss yesterday? And it would know the meetings you scheduled for, and then, obviously the sessions that you could attend. And even if you want to generate or get the summary of those sessions or highlights about those sessions, you can, get those generated as well. So it's, saying this is what you missed or you will miss if you don't attend. So it's not just picking all of the sessions or meetings. It's picking the top sessions that actually match my profile.
That can also mean that on the day of the event, we can actually ask before going in, we can ask like, how can I make the best out of today? Like what can I extract from today so that I don't miss anything?
Exactly. Before the event day, you can also ask about, for example, if the event is happening on 19th, 28th, and scheduled for 21st as well. So you can also ask it, tell me the most exciting part of 19th August that match my profile. And then you can, tell it to return with the same for 20th and 21st as well. And then you can add those schedules, add those sessions to your schedule, or meet with those people. Obviously, you'll have to request for a meeting. And if there are exhibitors that you want to attend, you visit, right? So it can list those for you as well, so that you can plan your day. Another use case is, if, as I mentioned, that, a lot of times you'd attend the event just because of, a specific speaker. So in that case, if you want to see when exactly that speaker has a session, what you can do, you can prompt it something like, at what time does Sarah has her session on 19th? So I can plan my day. If she's speaking at, for example, 12, I don't want to miss her session and reach at the event venue at 1 or maybe after that. So I can quickly prompt, know about Sarah's session. I can also ask, whether Sarah, if, she is maybe, host in a session, she's maybe a panelist in a couple of sessions, right? So it would return that as well. So I can plan my day. I would not book any meetings around that time. I will only, like add those sessions to my schedule, and then will book my meetings, and at some other times.
Wow, that's amazing because I usually do like to take a look at the list of
Mhm.
speakers before going in, and I plan my day around that as well. So this is interesting to know. I'm more curious about how this would work for the organizers. Like, how can they set this up so their attendees can get all the right questions at the right time?
Exactly. So I mean, whatever the information that you see here is either come from, let me just go to the backend here. So all of the information, you don't have to set it up, right? So obviously, as soon as you create an event and provide all the instructions about your landing pages, obviously you're putting content, you're adding your sessions, your exhibitors are registering, and they're also adding their details. Your speakers are also updating their profiles, adding handouts and other details. So it automatically gets trained on that data. You don't have to, manually go and train it. If there is any further instruction that you want it to have, for example, parking details, as you know, in this example, we have given it specific parking instruction that which zones are free, which zones are not. So it can read this PDF document, it can, obviously reply back with the actual information. Then you can add instructions in a text format. Now, what you can do, the kind of interesting part here, you can view chat logs, right? And then you can also filter it by unanswered questions. Now, if there are any questions that your bot, your AI assistant doesn't know about, so what you can do instead of waiting for complete event to conclude, what you can do, you can come back here, you can add training material, just add a text, right? So maybe general instructions or maybe a dress code that people were not following or did not know about it. So you can say dress code, and then you can put your instructions here, right? So this is going to be the dress code for the event. This is the Wi-Fi password. Is if you missed it on the day one, or maybe had it in the documents, but nobody read it, and then obviously they were coming to you. So what you can do, you can just add training material, and instantly it reads it. The next moment, if anyone asks this event assistant a question, it will answer from the training material.
Wow. That sounds perfect. And it's pretty easy, like a non-technical person like myself, I can also set it up very easily and just train my chatbot and have everything ready for me. That's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. Now, like we've seen what it looks like for attendees to get all the answers before the event, during the event, and after the event as well. How does it look like for organizers? How can organizers get answers to their questions about the event before, during, and after? So, Salman, I think we'll be moving on to the MCP server in this case, and
Mhm.
you can just go ahead and you can start a quick intro and you can maybe show us how that works.
Sure. Why not? All right. So let me quickly move to that screen and start talking about the MCP thing. It's quite exciting, by the way.
Yeah.
So one way of doing it, before explaining what the MCP is, so in a normal scenario, if you have to pull a report, so how would you do it, right? So you would go to, analytics, pull a report from there, or maybe if you are on the organization portal, how would you do it? You go to, cross-event report. You can see some stats from here as well. Even if you have to just see how many total registrations I've got so far, right? So you have to log into the portal and see the total registration count. Otherwise, you have cross-event reports available. You can build dashboards, you can schedule reports, you can add, new widgets here as well. So this is one way of doing it, right? But we've interviewed a lot of our clients, and they a lot of times use tools like Claude and ChatGPT. And then what they would do is they would export a lot of data from here and import in Claude and generate reports, right? So, that's why we've, kind of came up with this vFairs MCP. So you don't have to go through this exporting from here and then importing it to Claude or ChatGPT. So what you can do is you can now access your data directly from the tools you're comfortable with. So this is the MCP, right? So just ask your event data, as we were talking about attendees, how they can interact with data, ask questions. So now this is an organizer who can now interact with all of the event data that we have, mainly I'll talk about that data as well. So what the MCP is, it's basically secure connection between vFairs and an AI tool, as I explained, Claude and ChatGPT. Mainly we'll talk about Claude today, right? Once the organizer authorizes the connection, the AI can retrieve event information, whatever the information that you permitted to access, right? So the information is mainly it gets access to all of your organization level information, like your branding, your name of the organization, a couple of other details, your attendee details, registrations, your session details, your booth details, and then engagement activities the attendees users perform after logging in. So we'll also cover this part in, kind of you can imagine 3 moments, or kind of you can, obviously 3 moments are divided into kind of anxiety level as well. So you have different anxiety level when, when you are before the event, sitting in before the event moment. Then you have during the event, you would ask different questions, or you would want to know different data. And then after the event, the requirements are a little different. So if you are connected, if you already have a Claude account, and then you also have a vFairs organization owner account, but you can quickly you can go to connectors, you can click on add custom connector, type in this agent.vfairs.com/MCP, and then you're good to go, right? So it'll take you to the authentication page. You'll just have to provide your username and password, and then you'll be connected. Right after you connect, you can start with a question, a basic question like how my registrations are doing, right? So which sessions are performing well. And then take it from there. And it'll generate some reports, and then you can keep talking to it and get some more insightful information. So let's get to it. The first thing is, and you can think of a scenario, you're kind of 2 weeks away from the event. And then you want to know how my registration is performing, right? So you want to do a quick health check, right? So you would ask Claude something like, how healthy is registration for Tech Forward Summit 2026? This is the name of the event. Obviously, you can change it with your event name, show the status breakdown, registration pace, profile completeness, and anything that needs attention. Our registration target is 1,000 attendees in total. So, let's just quickly run this prompt, and it'll fetch some insight. Obviously, it'll go through attendee details, total registration that we have got so far, and then it'll match it with the total, the target we had and how we are doing, and if there's anything that we should improve. So you can see this was the target. We've achieved it in this case, right? And obviously you can change it, tweak it the way you want. How many active registration we have in total so far, and then registration versus the target. It's also telling you, where you are at the moment. And then, a little more detail about this as well, that, what are the registration, the number of users who are inactive, number of users who are available or something. Another thing that is really helpful, and especially before the event, is like the sessions, booth details and speaker details, completion or readiness, right? So, and what you can do, you can run a report to get that information as well. So instead of going to exhibitor sections, sessions, speaker details, then you'll obviously find out. But here what you can do, you can quickly ask that run a readiness audit for Tech Summit, the same event, right? It'll check for sessions, speaker profiles, and booth details, and whatever the details are missed, it'll prompt you. Now this one, instead of typing a long prompt or give it specific instructions, what you can do, you can download our skills, right? Claude skills, and you can use these skills, right? So these skills are also available in the knowledge base. You can download them and import them into Claude, and then you can just use them exactly as I'm using right now, and I'll show you in the next prompt how we can quickly do it. So this, as you can see, it's telling me session, speaker, booth, and overall completion, readiness of the event. And if I further scroll down, you can see that these are the sessions that has no speaker assigned to it, right? This is the session where I have no description till now, right? So I can reach out to speakers or whoever responsible, and ask them to put the details here. And then if I further scroll down, so this is, booth completion and readiness. So you can see against this booth, I have no description, right? So against this one, I have no rep assigned, so I can reach out to Technova Solutions and tell them to invite their booth members, whoever is going to man the booth at the day of the event. So this is you would do before the event, right? So you would ask these type of questions so that how well you are doing and then preparing for the event. Now, during the event, there are also some exciting insights that you would want to know so that you can improve. If there is a multi-day event, right? So as the example that we were going through is the event is on 19th, 20th, and then 21st. So if there is something that you know on the 19th, obviously you can improve on the next day. So what you can do here, I'm asking which sessions are performing best today or best so far, right? And rank them so it will rank. And what else I can do? I can also use a skill. If you've already downloaded a skill, you will just have to type slash and then session attendance analysis, right? And then it has all the information on how to analyze a session. It'll take the rest of the sessions and see. And then I can hit, and then it'll pull all the sessions, right? And will generate a report and tell me how well the sessions are performing, how many registrations are we getting against each session that we have. So you can see, sessions along with the details. As I said, the event is going to be, will be live on the 19th and 20th as well. So there will be some more registration that we are expecting. But at the moment, you can see these are the people who have already registered and viewing. And if there's anything, you can also ask, what based on whatever the insights above that you're recommending, you can also keep asking about both details, right? And then once it tells you about both information, attendee information, and also all the other information that you can ask, what you can do, you can also ask kind of follow-up questions, right? What do you suggest I should improve for maybe day 2 based on the above information? What do you suggest my team should focus on, right? So this one, which exhibitors are getting the most and least booth traffic, recommend where the team should intervene. So you can see the booths along with their insights, and then you can see the number of visits, the number of registered users for the booth, and where exactly they are on the floor. And then as many details as you can ask, it'll pull for you. If I want to specifically ask about the data it already pulled, what my team can do, it'll suggest, for example, the booths or the sessions that are not performing well. Even before the session, you can get this information because attendees can actually register for a session before the event. Attendees can actually, add those sessions to their schedule. So if you see that people are not, viewing a specific session or adding a specific session to their schedule, right? So what you can do, you can, maybe send notifications for that session, or maybe you can use your next days to promote that session, that booth, whatever that is. And this is a set of instructions that it can give you, and you can be as creative with the prompts and keep generating these reports.
Wow. Salman, one thing that I've noticed, these skills are specifically helpful for me as an event organizer because most of the times I don't even know what to ask, like what reports do I actually
Mm-hmm.
need. So these skills sort of give me like that ready-made reports that are ready that could help me look into problems that I didn't even know existed. So that's like perfect for me at this time.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you can either be perfect or, be very descriptive with the prompt, right? For example, in this case, you can see the length of the prompt, right? So you can keep writing the prompt, give it all the instructions that, and obviously it'll pull the report accordingly. Or you can quickly use a pre-built skill and just tell about the event. If you have multiple events in that case, but if you only have one event, you just need to refer. For example, if I talk about a skill, so you can say survey insight, sentiment digest. That's it. Even if I hit this, it will pull the reports, based on the survey. If you have multiple surveys, obviously you have to tell which survey you want reports for. Otherwise, it'll just run and pull the information. So either, in this case, as you can see, I've already ran it because it took a lot of time. So this is the prompt, and against this, you can see this is the information I've got, right? So this was mid-event survey that, we got. And in this survey, you can see it's telling me sentiment so far is solidly positive, but not yet unanimous, right? So across attendees rate overall enjoyment at 3.7 and then value received at 3.6. So you can also see, so what's the reason behind this rating? If you really want to improve it on, 20th of August or 21st of August. So what you would do, you would either scroll further down and keep reviewing the report. You can see, okay, so overall enjoyment, they're rating, this is the breakdown of value received. Okay, this is the breakdown which part of the events provide the value. You can also read this information that, okay, so people are enjoying like, meeting, exhibitor and booth. People are kind of less enjoying discovering new technology, right? And then you can keep scrolling and obviously, it would tell you a lot of insights. The good thing about this is you can copy and ask more details from Claude, right? So you can go back and ask, for example, a lot of attendees have responded, for example, in this case, that they are, not that much enjoying the learning part, or maybe the conference sessions. So what could be the reason? It will further generate a report that you can consume. Then what you can do, right before the event, obviously, there is a kind of post-event anxiety that you have to get, executive summary out for not only for your team and leadership, you would also need these reports for, your sponsors, your exhibitors. So what you can do, you can either ask it to generate report for separate for each exhibitor or each sponsor. And you can also get this report generated just for yourself, right? So in this case, what I've asked it to do is, as I said, you can use the skill and then you don't have to write a long prompt, right? So in this case, it's just a couple of lines prompt. And then this is what, I got out of it. So this is a complete interactive report, right? So what I can do, I can filter, right? I can, like filter this data. I can also go through this, like, total number of registrations, engagement rate. This is telling me about the, overall overview of the event so far, although I still have 20th and 21st of August. And then obviously I can keep generating this every day. So I know where should I invest my time or where my team should be investing more time, which parts should be improved or improvised. So you can see engagement funnel. These are the number of attendees who have registered. This is the registration status so far. And sessions by date, how many attendees are we getting? The meeting insight, how many meetings people are accepting and attending. Top exhibitors, you can also reach out to the top ones or maybe the ones who are not getting more footfall, or maybe attendees are not booking meetings with them. These are the survey sentiments and most valuable parts of the event so far, as per attendees. All right, so these are the insights that you can go deeper as well. This is another example of the same survey, and then you don't even have to tell it to generate this report based on my branding. You don't even have to provide your logo and organization branding. It already knows about it as well, right? So, it knows the primary, secondary colors, your logo, your organization name, and all of those details. It's ready to be shared. You just like ask it to generate executive summary, and then you ask it to maybe give you a PDF or HTML or artifact link. So what you can do, you can just copy that link or document, attach it to email, and share it with relevant people if you want to share it. So one more exciting thing you can do, you can actually compare multiple events as well, right? So if you are hosting multiple events, you can compare it with your previous event. So what it'll do, it'll pull all of the event registrations and all, and then you can view the report. You can ask it to generate a PDF report, as I said, interactive report, or however you talk to it, it'll keep improving and keep generating these reports. No worries, no worries. So the possibilities are, I mean, endless. And this is not the only tool that you can connect your, Claude with. So one tool is, obviously you can connect it with MCP, vFairs MCP, and get all the event details. You can also connect it with, HubSpot. You can also connect it with any CRM or maybe vibe coding tool, and you can pull the information from here and then push it to somewhere else, or maybe send emails, or interact with the data however you want. So this is, you can see a quick comparison between two events. You can run a comparison based on registrations. You can run a comparison based on engagement, and whatever the context you want to give it, it'll generate and report based on that.
Wow. Like I can already see, like, so these are the stats that are combined here in this single report that I'll otherwise have to go in different portals, different backend screens, and just to find where
Exactly.
these stats are. And that would take up like hours of my time. And this literally took 2 minutes to
Absolutely.
generate. So I can
Exactly.
already see the value in this. So
Obviously, I mean,
um,
generating a report like this, it takes, a lot of time. And people, as I
a
said,
lot.
our clients are already doing it. So they were doing it, exporting the reports from vFairs and then importing it in ChatGPT or Claude. And then obviously Claude or ChatGPT can build something like this. But now you don't even have to do that. You can simply log into Claude. So you are generating all the content from there. You're already taking help from a lot of in a lot of other things from Claude and ChatGPT and other AI tools. So you can quickly ask, generate my, for example, email copy. So you already have top sessions. You already have information about top participating sponsors, right? So can you include those in email copy, right? So can you include those in my maybe LinkedIn post, or my Insta post? So you don't have to copy the information and post it. It'll already have the information and you can use it right away.
I think this is the full picture. We have discussed the event assistant, and we have discussed the MCP. So just for everyone here, if you are a current vFairs customer, you can quickly just get in touch with your CSM, and they'll help you set up both AI event assistant as well as the vFairs MCP. And they can give you a walkthrough of how it will be set up on your systems and how you can, start using this. And you can even refer to this webinar and they'll know exactly what you're talking about and they'll get you hooked up on that. But if you're not a customer yet, not to worry. Like, I know that you're watching and you're thinking about what your event operations and what your event reporting could look like. So, you can just book a call with us. I'll drop the link to booking a discovery call in this chat. And we'll also be sending you the recording after the webinar. And we'll also send you the resources on whatever is covered. So we're good there. And now I think we can move on to the questions. Let's get to the questions. We actually have received a few of them. Okay. Saman, the first question says, the AI won't share personal details like names, emails, phone numbers, addresses.
I'm like you already have the information with you, right? So it's you can only access it by using your organization owner account, right? And you authorize this information to access. You're only viewing it in maybe Claude in ChatGPT, the same way as you would view it in vFairs, right? So you pull this information and then you can restrict it to only have access to, for example, the non-identical information, and then you can only export that. So you have
Okay.
control over there. Whatever the,
You
security settings or data privacy settings you have already enabled for the AI tool that you're using, it'll stay enabled, right? So your data still resides within vFairs, but if you're using those tools, obviously, their policy comes into play there.
Okay, that's answered. Someone is asking that is the event assistant and the MCP for all upcoming events or only a specific event? And their event is mostly virtual, so this is irrelevant, but I think they're asking for their upcoming events, which could be in person and hybrid as well.
Yeah, I mean, like it's for everybody. You can use it in virtual events, you can use it in hybrid or in-person events as well. I mean, both. And I don't see any reason that people in for virtual events would not enable it, because in virtual
Yeah.
events there are a lot of other challenges as well. People are not able to log in, people are not able to update their profiles, people are not able to, for example, people still want to connect with other attendees, other booths, and other users. So they would still prompt and ask all of these questions through email or support chat if you have one. So you can obviously give them access to the assistant. Now, if you talk about MCP, so it's obviously if you are doing a hybrid event or virtual event, you will have more data points. But still, if you are running an in-person event, you still have a lot of data to play with, and in all cases, it's significant value that it adds.
Okay, that's sorted. Someone has asked, at the end of all these prompts, I noticed Salman doing a text dash text dash text. How do we know what to use for each of our questions? I think they're referring to the skills, the Claude skills. How do we know what to use for each of our questions, and do we get a list of these skills?
That's a very good question. I mean, we have all of these instructions available in our knowledge base, right? So you can go to a knowledge base and find out how to, I just briefly talked about how to connect with vFairs MCP using Claude, but the instructions are pretty, in detail about how to connect with Claude, how to, connect MCP using Claude, and how to connect with MCP using ChatGPT, and also about skills and why and where do you need which skill as well, right? So, there are instructions about that. So you can read and find out. But there's no limitation, right? So it's not that, it's your data, obviously, whatever the information, whatever the question that you're asking, it'll make a lot of sense for you. And then you can keep asking as you would ask your maybe any assistant, right? So, you can keep asking how many registrations do you have? So it says, we have 1,000 registrations, right? So you can see, you can then ask, can you break it down to, maybe location, right? So it'll break it down for you, and you can keep asking follow-up questions, and it'll keep giving you different, the information.
Perfect. Sounds good. Is this also compatible with Copilot?
Comparable with Copilot? I mean, it's
I
kind
mean,
of
yeah.
it's okay, comparable with Copilot. Copilot, I mean,
Yeah.
if that has MCP support, yes, you can use it in there as well.
Okay, perfect. For the MCP, someone has asked, where is it pulling this data from? Surveys or engagement and comments within the app, or can this be done by reading the chat in a virtual event? Pulling sentiment data during the whole event at specific times based on chat responses.
Okay, if you're talking about the chat itself, so those are, a lot of messages. We don't pull information about all of those chat interaction that people are chatting with each other. but it does pull information from all the surveys that you run, all the sessions that you run, booth information, Q&A, and then attendee information, and the information about booths and their details.
Okay. And when using it in a virtual event, can attendees use it directly from their attendee dashboard/chat on the desktop, or do they have to open a separate app?
No, they don't have to open any separate application when they're logged into web or mobile application. It's within the mobile application and within the web app. So you can just click on, like access, and it's also available on the event site as well. Even if attendees were not logged into your event, they can still ask questions. Now the details depend on whatever the access that you're given. So they will be able to access that. They don't have to download a specific application or go to any external or specific link. It's available within the app.
Okay, perfect. For the event assistant, someone has asked, what happens if the assistant cannot find an answer?
It'll politely say that I don't know about that specific thing and will recommend you something else, right? So, what do you want to know about, your top matching profiles? What do you want to know about, who should you meet or which sessions you should attend? And that's it. And you also have access to what you can do. You can also provide them with default prompts. And then these can be changed per day as well. For example, day one, you have different set of prompts set as default, and then day one, you can change them to something else based on whatever the question that you got most, on day one. So you can control that. So people would ask relevant
Okay,
questions. Yeah.
perfect. And does the AI event assistant give personalized recommendations for each attendee?
Of course. I mean, when it has all the information about you as an attendee, it knows your name, it knows your interest, intent, which sessions you are attending today, which meetings you are going to attend. And then you've got kind of been invited to. So it has all of this information. Now, based on this information, it'll recommend you your parking, your free lunch, if that's, available, your sessions, your, booths you should visit, and all of this information, it's personalized.
Okay. And someone else has asked, can the MCP compare performance across different events?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it gets access, when you authenticated, you're giving it, kind of connecting it to your organization, right? So the number of events that you have against an organization, it'll have access to all of those events, and you can pull one event and say, compare this event with the other. Or maybe if you have, same events that you run every year or every quarter, so what you can do, just compare it with the previous event that I had. And then you can also, kind of define which parameters you want to compare these events on, or otherwise you just mention compare these two events, and it'll, just give you the response.
Okay, perfect. I think this is the last question we'll take because we're already over time, but someone has asked, like, what if we can't find the skills that we need or the report that we need from the skills? Can we create our own skill or can we create our own reports?
Exactly. I mean, the skills are for you to, kind of to give you a head start, right? So you don't have to write a complete prompt, so you can use the skills. If you want to create your own skills, you can do it. Just talk to Claude for a bit on any specific topic, and ask it to just, can you create the skill for all of the, the discussion that we had, or all the reports that you've generated so far. So the later you'll just have to prompt it, just, can you use this skill and generate this specific report? So you can create your own skills. We will also keep adding more skills to the library, so you don't have to, even create your own skill, although you can do it. And you can also generate different reports, any sort of reports, or maybe pull this information to any other, system if you want to as well.
Okay, amazing. I think with this, we are at the end of our FAQs. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you. Really appreciate the time you spent with us today. The recording will be with you shortly. And if you think of any other questions after the webinar ends, feel free to drop an email to us. Feel free to reach out directly. We will be happy to keep the conversation going. Thank you, everyone, once again. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.